Guys, welcome back. I hope you guys are all doing fine. In this video, I just want to go over all the shows and movies for the MCU that Disney has announced. They announced a lot more with like Pixar, Star Wars, but there's none of them I'm really into where I'm like, oh, I'm excited. Like there's only one from each one where I'm like, oh, I'm definitely excited to go see that. Like from Pixar, they announced they're coming out with a Lightyear movie, where it's based off the character that the toys based, but the Buzz Lightyear toy is based off of, and he's gonna be voiced by Chris Evans. So I'm like, a Buzz Lightyear movie, and it's voiced by Chris Evans. I'm definitely excited to go see that one. And then with Star Wars, the only thing they coming out with so many Star Wars movies, well, shows, and I'm just like, I could care less. The only one I'm really interested in seeing is the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And just because I think Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan in the prequels was awesome. He's like one of the standouts. And get to see what he was up to between episode 3 and 4. Like to see what he was up to, and to me I'm really interested in that and seeing like what he went through and all that. I think it's a story to tell there. So I can't wait to see that. And plus, they even announced that Hayden Christensen is coming back as Darth Vader, and they even said there's gonna be a rematch between these two in that series, which I'm like, yes, can't wait to see that, because I feel like in episode 3 when they're having their battle, I feel like it was really choreographed and really like up there, like going all out, which is like doing all these flips and like fighting over this lava. I mean, it was awesome, but it was kind of getting ridiculous at a point, and it was really dragging out. And in episode 4, it was kind of just like they're barely tapping lifesavers, so it was just like. So hopefully in this one, it's gonna be like the best one out of the 3. So I'm definitely excited for Obi-Wan, but what I want to get through is all the MCU stuff, because as you know, I'm really into all superheroes, movies, shows. And so far Disney with Marvel is really doing great. So I'm just gonna go off based off my what I'm least excited about to all the way what I'm really excited about. So, and it's gonna be out of order. So, well, the one I want to go through last is the I Am Groot's mini series. To me, I could care less. Like I'm like, really, I think it's gonna be like 6 episodes or something like that. But yeah, just I have no interest in watching it, because I feel like it's just gonna be legit Baby Groot just saying I am Groot the whole time, and I feel like it's not even gonna have subtitles. So I don't know. That's like, well, I don't really care. Like, I mean, it should be funny to see, I guess, but right now I'm just like, I could care less about that. They're also coming out with Moon Knight. Moon Knight, I really don't know too much about him. I just that he has a. They even said that he's gonna have like a split personality disorder, and I think they even said Oscar Isaac's gonna play him. With I really do like Oscar Isaac. He played Apocalypse in X-Men, and he also played Poe Dameron in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. So that should be interesting to see. And but I don't really know too much of Moon Knight, so I guess I'll just wait till I see a trailer or something like that. So. They're also coming out with Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel, same thing. I don't really know too much about her. Like she's kind of like one of the newer characters in the comic books and all that, and she's even being introduced to the newer games. Um, like I said, I don't really know too much about her. She seems alright, and I think she's even confirmed to be in the Captain Marvel 2 movie, which okay, we'll get a little bit more into that later, but. Yeah, it seems cool. I might give it a watch, but like I said, I don't really know too much to even talk about. Um, they even coming out with a Hawkeye series. To me, I really like Hawkeye in the movies. I did not know anything about Hawkeye until they came out with him in those movies. And to me, I think he was interesting. Yeah, you might be all he does is shoot bow and arrows, but I think he's like a more interesting character. I think he was like one of the first ones to even like show that he has a family in this series. Like so I think that's pretty cool. And I remember at first when I'm like, oh, so he's gonna pass the torch down to his daughter, but no, it's like a completely different character by Kate Bishop, which I'm like, okay, that should be interesting to see how how their dynamic should play out, and the fact that I'm glad that Hawkeye's getting his own series, even though I think it's better if he's getting his own mini series than like a whole movie to himself. So I'm really happy for that. So definitely excited to check that out. And then we're also getting the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, which is like a nod to the Star Wars Christmas special like from years ago. And honestly, I have no I hope it's good. I mean, I'm still gonna go out and watch it, but the thing is, I wish we could get a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 before we got this one. Because I've been waiting on that third one, because I really like the first two so much, and a lot of people don't really like the second one, but I still really fucking love it. The first one's the best one, but the second one's really comes close. And I'm really hoping to see a third one, even though I feel like the third one's gonna really change things up because after all the events of Infinity War and Endgame, so but I guess we're getting a Christmas special, which I will still go out and watch, but like I said, I wish we were getting a third one instead of this one. Um let's see what else. We're also getting let's see. Well, the shows they announced they also came out with trailers. Like we got WandaVision. I remember when I first heard about this, I was even thinking like, really, I could care less about Wanda or Vision, and even the title to me, I'm like WandaVision. I'm like whatever. And then, but when I saw the trailers, and I'm like, this looks intriguing, just because it seems like there's gonna have like a lot of different elements from all these different types of TV shows, like a sitcom, and kind of like a romance thing, and there's like a mystery going on, like what's going on, and so to me, I think that should be pretty cool to see and see how that plays out. So the more I'm like seeing in these trailers, I'm like I'm really curious on what is going on, because even after watching, I'm like I still don't know how like what's going on. So I just wanted to go see like what's the whole mystery behind this, because like I said, I've been really intrigued by it. We also got a trailer for the Winter Soldier, well, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I was hoping they would have had a movie, but they're coming out with a show, which I'm like, okay, cool, then, expand more into this show, where now we're living in a world where we don't have Chris Evans, well, Steve Rogers as Captain America. He's retired, he's done. So, and he passed the torch down to the Falcon. And it seemed like the Falcon's kind of like hesitant on if he wants to take up that mantle or not. And then the Winter Soldiers tell him, yeah, you should use that shield. And then same thing. I don't really like. It seemed like in this trailer, there's not really much like plot details on what's going on. But to me, I'm excited to see their dynamic. Like seeing their dynamic a little bit in Civil War, I thought that was really awesome. So I can't wait to see more in this little miniseries. They even bringing back Baron Zemo or Helmut Zemo, whatever the fuck his name is. But he's even gonna look traditional how he looks in the comic books. So I can't wait to see that. That's definitely one of my top ones. I'm really excited to see. And another one that I saw a trailer for is Loki. So when I first heard about this one, same thing. I was like, why are we getting a Loki series? This fucker died like 3 times already. I'm like getting tired of it. But then I was like, whatever, we'll see. It's branching off to a different timeline where he survives. So if you saw Endgame, he escapes with the cube. They even show in the trailer showing you like, yeah, it's a different timeline on how he survives. Same thing. I don't know much. It seemed like he's gonna be working with a community of like these people that like all about time traveling. I guess I'm not quite sure, and I guess they're gonna have him do that. Just like be there in moments of time in all time traveling. I guess that's how from what I gathered from that trailer. So, but honestly, it does look intriguing to me. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to go see that. That I really do. I'm more excited for that one than I am about WandaVision. So yeah, and then we're also getting a What If series, which they show a trailer for, and really good animation work on there. Like to me, it really looks like comic book come to the to the little screen, I guess, since it's gonna be on Disney Plus. But to me, I'm really excited for that one because I know it's gonna have 23 episodes for representing all 23 MCU movies thus far, but in each one is changing one factor into it where it's gonna be completely different. Like like we saw one from the trailer where instead of Peter Quill getting taken by Yondu, it's actually T'Challa, Black Panther, and now he's kind of being like that what Peter Quill became to be. He becomes Star Lord. So I think that's cool. We're even seeing that instead of Steve Rogers being the one taking the super soldier serum, God, and it's actually Peggy Carter, and there's even one we're seeing Steve Rogers as a zombie, which I'm like, that's awesome. He's going up against the Winter Soldier. I think that's pretty cool too. So, and we even seen one where it's like an evil Doctor Strange versus the good Doctor Strange. I'm like, so I can't wait to see more of this. Like, I really am excited for that TV show. Like to me, I'm like, that just seems really, really interesting to me. Um, they even announced some movies that there are coming out with Captain Marvel 2, which with the Captain Marvel 1, when I first watched it, I thought it was pretty good. And the second time I watched it, I was honestly losing it. Like I was actually getting kind of bored. So so I guess when you first watch it, it's kind of pretty good, but like it's not really good at and when you keep rewatching it as like the other movies have that I've seen before. Um, so I hope with this one it'll be a lot better. Um, they even coming out like even the character from Miss Marvel is gonna appear in Captain Marvel too. So we'll see how that goes. And it seemed like now this one's gonna be taking place like in modern times, like in the present. Well, in the first one took place in the 90s, and I was kind of hoping it would still keep going that way, cause it's like, well, what else has she's been up to from the events of the first Captain Marvel movie before like all the Avengers movies and all that stuff? Because he's she's literally been gone all these years because she's off in these different planets in the galaxy. So I think that would have been interesting to see. Like I would love to see that, but I guess it's gonna take place in present time, and I don't know where the story's gonna go with. They even announced they're coming out with Black Panther 2, and I mean it's gonna feel weird because we're not having Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa there, if you know why. Um, it's sad, but I could kind of see why. And they even say they're not gonna recast the Black Panther or anything like that, which I think that's a really good move. But it's kind of like you're just gonna feel like something's missing there, because that's why I really like the first Black Panther movie. It's definitely like my top 10 favorite MCU movies, and maybe one day I'll do a ranking. But I feel like something's gonna be missing there, so I don't know if I will like it as much as the first one, because I really do like the first one. Minor flaws with it, but I still really enjoyed it for what it was. So I guess we're getting the Black Panther 2. Um, and there's more series, and then like I said, there's that I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Oh, and they're even coming out. They're coming out with Ironheart. Now she's kind of like a newer character in comic books. She's like basically like a woman Iron Man, from what I'm gathering. I could be wrong. To me, that should I'll probably watch it, but it's not catching my interest. It's just like I've seen it before. It's like, oh, this person's like dealing with this like technology and then making it into a suit or something like that. So it's like we've seen that in Iron Man 1, and it's like it's not showing me anything new to where I'm like, yeah, I need to go out and watch that. But we're getting that, and we're also getting with Armor Wars. So it's kind of like they talked about it, like saying what happened if Tony's nightmare comes true, where his his tech lands into the wrong hands, which is like okay, and, and it's even starring War Machine, which I'm like okay cool, like have War Machine more time to shine, because I always liked War Machine, but I feel like we don't get that much of him. Like he's always kind of like a supporting character or a minor character in all these MCU movies we have seen him in. and the fact that he's gonna get like a pretty good role in this series, I'm happy to see that. I definitely will go out and watch this one and see how that one goes. Don't really know too much. It's just only that what I just told you. And we're also getting Secret Invasion. Now in the comic books, it's kind of like the Skrulls taking over, and they're like, you don't know who's who. You don't know if that's a real person or that's a Skrull pretending to be a real person. And that should be cool, but I still don't understand why they're going with this now, because it's like it showed in the first Captain Marvel movie that the Skrulls are not bad people. Like, yeah, there's some bad Skrulls, but like for overall the race itself is not, they're not bad. And so I don't know how they're gonna go with it. They even say Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury is gonna be in the part of the show, which I'm like, okay, like if you agree to be on it, I guess like there's worth to watch it. So they even said this is gonna be the like big crossover like Captain America's Civil War or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. It's kind of weird they're making it into a series instead of a movie, but we'll see how that goes. And I'm definitely excited to go see that. And in the movie that I'm finally happy they announced, but we haven't got any casting or that, but they announced we're getting a Fantastic Four movie. If you don't know, there's already been like 4 Fantastic Four movies. One in the 90s that went straight to VHS, didn't even hit theaters. The studio just made it just so they could keep rights and then lose it later on. And then we got 3. We got 2 in the like early to mid 2000s. I mean, and we got 1 in 2015. Now, what I feel about the first 2, they're really cheesy. They're not terrible films, but to me they don't bring out the Fantastic Four team elements into it, and that's what kind of sucks. It's the one with Chris Evans as the Human Torch, if you don't know, and even the second one when they introduced the Silver Surfer, I thought that was pretty cool, like the way he looked. But then they bring in Galactus and he's just a fucking cloud, and it makes no sense. Like, why you went from the way he looks in the comic books and cartoons to just a fucking cloud. I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, that's dumb. And then we got the one in 2015 with Miles Teller as Mr. Fantastic and Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch. The first time I remember when I watched it, I was like, that wasn't that bad. Granted, it could have been better, especially how they did Doom in that one. I'm like, could have been better. When the second time I watched it, I literally fell asleep because it was so boring for me. It was so boring, so bland, and like the Fantastic Four has these suits in the comic books where it's like it's so like it's blue, it's so bright, and that movie is just like it's so dark, so dimmed down, and you could barely see anything because it's so fucking dark. And it, like I said, it was so boring. I ended up falling asleep, and I'm like, oh god. So I'm still waiting for a really good Fantastic Four movie. And now that's with Disney/Marvel, I'm hoping we finally get that. And I even talked to this about this with my sister-in-law, and she was like, no, they should just stop. We haven't even had a good one yet. I'm like, yeah, but it's with Disney. So I feel like Disney, if this ends up being a bomb or just ends up not working at all, then yeah, we should just leave Fantastic Four to rest and stop trying to make movies about them. Because if Disney can't get it right, no one can apparently. But I'm really am excited about this, and hopefully later on we get some like pretty cool casting on who we could get for Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm. So we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, guys, that's all the movies and TV shows are coming out with the MCU. Either it's coming to the theaters or it's coming on to Disney Plus. And some of them I'm like, like what's the point? And some of them I'm really interested in and see how that goes. Like I said, I think Disney is doing so well with Marvel. Yeah, they might have some like alright stuff, but they haven't have any duds. That's a good thing. So they're really on a good record on the MCU. Star Wars is another thing, but like I said, with the MCU, I think they're doing really fantastic with it. No point intended. And I can't wait to see where the future of the MCU goes from here on out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you guys think of all these shows and movies that are coming out. And I hope to see you guys next time. Make sure to like and subscribe. Take care.